The new visa regulations imposed by the Pakistani government have ignited significant unrest among the Pashtun community, with allegations of human rights violations and severe disruptions to their daily lives. Fazal-Ur-Rehman Afridi, representing the Pashtun Tahafuz Movement, brought these critical issues to the forefront during the 56th session of the United Nations Human Rights Council. The international community's response to these grievances remains to be seen. We have a report.
Pashtun activists are sounding the alarm over the Pakistani government's new visa regulations, which have severely impacted the lives of Pashtun people. These stringent measures imposed near the border areas and along the controversial Durand line violate international law and have devastating effects on the social, economic and financial well-being of Pashtuns. The regulations have disrupted family, business and social connections on both sides of the border. In response, Pashtuns have been protesting these harsh restrictions. Fazal-Ur-Rehman Afridi, Executive Director of the Khyber Institute and a representative of the Pashtun Tahafuz Movement or PTM, raised these concerns during the 56th session of the UN Human Rights Council.
For the last 8 months, the Pashtuns are protesting against the strict visa regulations of the government of Pakistan, which is in violation of the international law, because the people living in the vicinity, in the border areas, and especially the Durand line is controversial between Afghanistan and Pakistan. So the people living there, they have family on both sides of the Durand line. They have their businesses, they have social and economic connections with each other.
The Pakistani government and military have responded violently to these peaceful protests. Over 200 Pashtun leaders have been forcibly disappeared and more than 100 people have been injured during the demonstrations.
For that, for the last month, the Pashtuns are protesting and have organized a sit-in in Chaman. But instead of listening to the grievances of the Pashtun people, especially the PTM, the Pakistani government and its military is attacking the protesters, attacking the sit-in. They have systematically several times attacked this sit-in. And recently, they again attacked this sit-in. They killed a 15 years old young boy.
The new visa requirements have left hundreds of Pashtuns encamped outside the Friendship Gate, the authorized border crossing between Chaman and the Afghan district of Spin Boldak, protesting the one-document regime. Additionally, the Pakistani military has been accused of extrajudicial killings and targeting innocent civilians under the guise of operations against the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan and Al-Qaeda. Afridi called on the international community, particularly the United Nations, to protect the basic fundamental rights of the Pashtun people. He accused the Pakistani military of gross human rights violations against various ethnic minorities, including the Baloch, Sindhis and Kashmiris.
तकरीबन 2 लाख से ज़्यादा पश्तूनों के घरों को उन्होंने मिसमार किया है। 25,000 हमारे शॉप्स और मार्केट्स को तबाह किया है और 80,000 पश्तूनों को इन्होंने कत्ल किया है, जो इनका ज़रब-ए-ग़ज़ब और ज़रब-ए-अज़ब ऑपरेशन था जो उन्होंने कंडक्ट किया, और इसके खिलाफ हम उठे, इसको इंटरनेशनल लेवल पे हमने उठाया। रिसेंटली अगेन उन्होंने टीटीपी के साथ अगेन पाकिस्तान की आर्मी ने मुआहिदा किया। टीटीपी के 25,000 उनके लीडर्स को, उनकी फैमिलीज को, उनको रीसेटल किया पख्तूनख्वा में।
The human rights activist also highlighted that Pakistan's economy is driven by conflict, either waging war inside the country or continuing proxy wars against others.
ये जो जेनोसाइड सिंस 20 इयर्स पश्तूनों का हो रहा है, इसमें मज़ीद इजाफा होगा और हम इंटरनेशनल कम्युनिटी खासकर रीजनल पावर्स को इन्फॉर्म करना चाहते हैं कि इसमें इंटरफियर करें, पश्तूनों को इस जेनोसाइड से बचाएं।
Last year, Pakistan decided that only those with valid passports and visas could cross the Chaman border. Previously, both Pakistanis and Afghans could cross using their respective identity cards. The situation remains dire and activists continue to raise awareness about these human rights abuses. As the protests continue, the call for international attention and intervention grows louder. The question is, will the world listen?